What's up, guys? Welcome back to Storytime with Uncle John, where I bring you tales from tech support and malicious compliance stories from all around the web and Reddit and things like that. So, been gone for a couple days again. Had a birthday over the weekend. Yesterday, I spent all day working on our upstairs hallway / stairwell. That's been a project off and on for the last month. Just, working Saturdays on it and things like that. But yesterday, the last few days, I decided to hammer on it pretty good. And, oh, there goes Nickel. Anyway, finishing drywall is probably the only thing I hate worse than painting. I end up covered head to toe, and when I turn around and look at it, have you ever... So, I don't know if any of you guys have kids that, have gone through preschool or daycare or anything like that, where, you'll put them in their little art smocks and things like that, and they're on a flat table surface, and you spray canned shaving foam onto the table and let them kind of swoosh it around and swirl it around and write in it, just like finger paint. And, I get done skimming a whole row of drywall seams, and I turn around and look at it, and I know it looks better than this, but it's how I feel. That I feel like I was that kid messing around with the shaving cream, and it's just bleh everywhere. So we'll see. We're going to get it done. We'll get it smooth. We'll get it painted and, start some trim. Anyway, today's stories are from Tales from Tech Support, and let's get started and see what we got. But it's going to blow up. Around about 2008, I'm working tech support for a large healthcare insurance company. I get a call from a distraught young claims worker, telling me that she needs a new PC. Hers is making a horrible noise and won't boot up, and she swears there was smoke coming from it before she turned it back off. So we go back and forth. I'm just trying to get her to turn on the PC for a second so that I can hear the noise over the phone and diagnose for the site tech. She adamantly refuses to turn it back on because she doesn't want to risk a fire. I'm thinking, horrible noise and smoke, she's probably got a bad case or power supply fan, or maybe the bearings in the hard drive. So finally, after she calms down a bit, I talk her into turning on the PC just for a sec so that I can possibly help, or at least give my diagnosis to the floor tech. She hits the power and there's no strange noise for a few seconds. Then it starts. It was a cacophony of beeps. Bleep, etc. I know that noise. I know exactly what's causing it. Well, best guess anyway, with a bit of experience thrown in. Ma'am, where is your purse? Excuse me, but what? My purse? Yes, your purse. Exactly where is it at this moment? She then says, What? What the hell are you talking about? My purse? What? I'm calling tech support to get a new computer and you're playing stupid games? What's wrong with you? Then she pauses. Then she hangs up on me. Yes, her purse was sitting on her keyboard. I can't possibly verify that in any way, but the hang up and no callback tells me I was spot on. I have many tech support stories I could share, but that one was the funniest to me, and has got me the most laughs over the years. And here's one that made me the maddest. Got fired one time after I accidentally embarrassed the CEO. Drove 3 hours to plug in his PC after the cleaning crew caught his power supply plugged with the vacuum cleaner. He swore up and down that he had followed the troubleshooting steps that I was dictating to him. I walked in, saw the plug from the door, plugged it in, turned it on and said, There you go, sir, have a good day, and I left. He called my manager and told him that I no longer have a job, or else. I really don't miss that place. Wow! Okay, so the lady adamantly, she can't notice that there's a big honking purse sitting on her keyboard, or even a small one. I notice everything about my keyboard because it's sitting right in front of me. How can you have a computer issue and not notice things with your computer? And why would you try to follow directions? Okay, so you don't want to risk a fire. If something starts going kerflooey, he can just tell you to snatch the cord out of the wall or something. I don't know. And then that CEO firing this guy for merely correcting a mistake that was caused by the cleaning crew? You're going to fire this guy for embarrassing you. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure what to say to that. I mean, it doesn't sound like OP gave any smart-ass answers or anything, so what's the issue? Yeah. I'm looking at it right now, and there's no screen. First-time poster, but I used to work in a call center for a cell provider. Many times people would call in with hardware issues that weren't really our problem to fix, since we really only dealt with the cell service. But today was a slow day, and I was happy, so I felt like helping this guy out. Mistake number 1. He was an older guy and was not familiar with technology, but that's fine. I've worked with people that don't know technology real well before. I wish I was exaggerating, but I've literally had to describe to people what the power button is on their phone. Anyway, this guy bought a new phone with us and activated the day before, so he was asking for help turning his phone on and setting it up. Now, I worked in phone support and didn't have the phone with me, so I had to walk him through these steps verbally. I could see that, based on his IMEI, he had a Samsung Galaxy A14. I walked him through inserting the SIM card, then asked him to hold the power button to turn the phone on. When he asked where the power button was, I gave him the answer I've unfortunately had to give more people than I would ever believe before working in tech support. If you're looking at the screen, it will be on the right side of the phone. You will see one big button, which is the volume button, and one smaller one. That one's the power button. What I wasn't ready for was his response. My phone doesn't have a screen. Wait, you have the Samsung Galaxy A14, right? I replied, even though I knew he did, because the steps to insert the SIM were all followed perfectly, but I wanted to make sure we weren't working with a flip phone and had the wrong IMEI. When he told me he had that Samsung smartphone, I told him it did have a screen, and the whole front side of it was the screen. That was when he yelled back at me, "You can see the phone I have, right?" I had mentioned that we had the IMEI, and that was how I knew what phone he had. I'm looking at it right now, and it has no screen. I really wasn't sure how else to describe the screen to this guy over the phone. I almost decided to just have him go to a neighbor or tech support place to just do it for him, because helping him over the phone was clearly not working. I'm not sure if it really was that he was that oblivious to what a phone screen was, or if he didn't want to follow instructions and wanted me to press our magical make it work button. I decided to just have him try to describe what he was looking at on his phone right now, and he said, "Well, it has 3 circles, then it's completely flat." Honestly, the call was silent for way too long as I tried to process the fact that this guy was looking at the back of his phone the entire time and decided to yell at me instead of turning his phone around because he couldn't see the screen. After getting him to turn it on, I just told him to follow the on-screen prompts to finish setup of his phone, and I ended the call. I knew there were tech-illiterate people, and I tend to be fairly patient with them, but yelling at me that there's no screen on a smartphone while you're staring at the cameras? Really? I don't understand. I mean, I guess the guy could have described early on what he was seeing, or you could have asked early on, but just to start yelling that there's no screen, I don't know. I'm not sure where I would have gone with that. I maybe would have asked, "Are you looking at the back of the phone? Because the other side is where the screen is." I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have handled it. Honestly, I don't have patience for anybody these days, let alone people that are going to yell at me, so maybe I would have hung up sooner. The curse of being a youngin'. This is more of a rambling complaint post. Just as a bit of a preface, I'm in my early 20s, worked in tech for a bit over 2 years. No degree, only official qualification in IT is a GCSE, UK exam for 15 to 16-year-olds. Working on qualifications like CompTIA, NEP, Sec+, ITIL, Linux, etc. And done a whole load of IT stuff at home like NAS, gaming rig, and fixing stuff, but whatever. Job title is Junior Tech Support Engineer. Lots of words for a kid who hangs out on the phones. A couple months ago, I walked into a server room in the office. It sounds louder than normal. One of the racks sounds a bit aggressive and unhappy. No real way to describe it other than that. Just that it didn't sound right. Autism helps me out there. I can just feel the unfamiliarity of the sound in my bones. So I walk out carrying the bits I went in there for, walk up to my manager. "Hey manager, one of the racks in there sounds kind of loud and aggressive. Can we open it up and have a look?" He says, "Loud and aggressive? What do you mean?" I don't know, it's just not quite right. Sounds like it might be coming from a UPS. Manager says, "No idea what you mean, but whatever, I'll take a quick peek." Following a 5-minute audio and temp examination with ears and hands, we determine it's definitely the UPS and it's definitely hot. Outlet air is nice and toasty. Check the stats on our online portal. Temps are a little high, but nothing major. Then I say, "Well, it's possibly a short circuit or a battery issue. Should we open it up?" Manager says, "No, it's probably just a broken fan or something working too hard. We'll log a ticket and get a tech to come out in the next few days." Cool. Weird analysis, but not my problem. Server infrastructure isn't my thing. I just pick up the phone for people who can't right-click. Next day I get in early and manager's already there. That's not good. I said, "Hey man, why are you in so early? I don't start for another hour and I thought you were work from home today." Manager says, "Hey, yeah, we got a call from maintenance at 5 a.m. with a notification the rack's running too hot, so I had to come in. I think it's the AC. The repair guy's been working on the building AC all week. The air distributor should usually move up and down, but it's just staying still." I tell him, "Well, I don't think the air distributor thing usually moves, and even if it did, it shouldn't make any difference. I'm still pretty sure it's a short circuit or a battery. I really think we should open it up and check it out." Manager says, "Nah, it'll be fine. We'll wait for the tech." Me, with a little contempt, "Yes, boss." This doesn't sit right with me, but I'm not authorized to open stuff up or override my manager, so I drop it. Brat gets louder through the day. Temps keep rising. AC works harder than normal. Room gets louder. I say, sure you don't want to check it before we leave? Like, just in case? Yeah, it'll be fine. I wake up the next day. It's a day off for me. Nice little bit of annual leave just before my birthday. Spend a couple hours chilling, then realize I left my work phone on. As I go to switch it off, I noticed a text in the group chat. Hey y'all, I was called in at 5 a.m. today by maintenance as one of the batteries in the rack 4 UPS leaked overnight. It's now running on dirty power until fixed. X system is not operational, we're dealing with it. Colleagues 1 and 2 says, can you deal with phones? Colleagues 3 and 4 join my meeting later. Colleague 5, don't forget to contact supplier. I'm a junior, not a moron. Please listen to me sometimes. I promise I'm not as dumb as I may seem. Just noticed I left a basket of clean clothes sitting over here in plain view. Oh well. I'm a real human. I do real human stuff. At least my clothes are clean and, I've showered and things like that, so. Not that you guys would care if I stunk or anything, but hey, my family appreciates it. Anyway, I get what you're saying, OP. You're a junior, not a moron. But it's tough. You got to understand from a manager standpoint, it's tough to listen to juniors sometimes because most, if not all, and depending on where you are, don't have the experience to really troubleshoot things like that. And, they tend to get a little ahead of themselves and want to open things up and maybe crack something open and, make things worse. At the same time, the manager could have said, well, I'll investigate it. And, he could have taken the issue on himself or maybe put in an urgent ticket for the techs to get over there sooner. I get what you're saying, but, try to be patient, work up through the ranks, up the ladder. Hello. And you'll get to the point where people will trust what you say a little more, and you can go from there. I know it's hard to be patient, but, sometimes we got to do it. Unfortunately, and I found this out myself personally, in life, when you don't have the certifications or 20 years of experience, or both, people are not going to listen to you, even if you're totally 100% right. It's just one of life's little things that we have to deal with. So, oh well. Hopefully the manager learned to trust you a little bit more, and maybe that'll bump you up a notch on his trust meter a little, So, here's hoping. In-house tech support, where the procedures are made up and the proper channels just don't matter. Part of my work is wrangling help desk for a product which my department develops, and which many other departments within our organization also use alongside other commercial users. As you'd expect, there's a healthy degree of collegial support around the whole thing. Everyone knows someone who's good with the product, and they'll ask them basic questions here and there. However, for more complicated stuff, help desk still needs to get involved. And from our perspective, the work really is no different whether we're helping a coworker or John Doe we've never met before. The help desk operates during specific hours, and there's currently 3 people switching shifts on it. Evidently, the last thing we want in this setup is for people to get in the habit of emailing those of us who work there at our personal work addresses instead of at the help desk address. It messes with our hours, it makes work harder to keep track of, and it can result in support requests sitting untouched for weeks if one of us is on vacation when they email us. So we do our best to be pretty strict about this, and people are usually understanding of being redirected to the help desk address, for the most part. Today, however, was not the most part. It's my day to work the desk, and I've just come back from vacation, so you can bet your ass I'm logging out of help desk accounts on the dot and getting back to the piles of work waiting for me on other projects as soon as I can. Or at least that was the plan, until Outlook ever so generously slid a product question email notification on my screen. Guess I didn't log out of the account? Nope, someone just emailed my personal account. I don't know this person, I don't know where they even got my info from, but okay. The desk is closed for today and my coworker is on it tomorrow, so I'll just redirect this person, and then there's someone else's problem. So I open and read their email. I have a few very specific questions. I would like to know if you can call me at this number when you have time. A few very specific questions is never a good sign, nor is thinking that those can be resolved via phone instead of email or ticket form. Someone else's problem indeed. I respond, hello. Please use the help desk email or user support form on the product website for questions about product. Thank you and best regards. Pretty clear, right? Nope. The response back to me was, hi, my coworker said I could contact you. I think it's easier if you call because this is too long to write. If you're not the right person for tech support, please let me know who is. A little bit presumptuous to just completely gloss over what I sent, but okay. Here's my response back. Hello, the help desk is open between these hours. Several people work on the help desk, so we need requests to come in through the proper channels so that we can reliably offer support without disruptions. I'll let your coworker know about this as well. Tomorrow, my coworker will be available for you on the address I provided below during such hours, and you may also reach the help desk on this phone number. There's no reply for an entire 15 minutes. Then this comes in. Okay, then I'll do it this way, and they proceed to list their very specific questions. They didn't move to the help desk address, didn't even CC it in. I looked at their email signature footer, and by some miracle it says they have a PhD. In what? Procedure avoidance? I feel bad for my coworker tomorrow, but they ain't getting a reply back to this email from me on my personal account, that's for sure. I've worked in places such as the school system where I knew the on-site tech, and once in a while I could pop my head in his office and ask questions or, even ask him for help. But when things got serious, things that I couldn't do myself or, there was questions that went beyond just my normal daily curiosity, I would go through the proper channels because, he was going nuts. One guy in an entire school full of staff, students, and administration, the guy was probably losing his damn mind. Plus he had things like, setting up new computers to swap out old computers and laptops for the library and media center. And, I know the guy was probably getting beat to death over these things. And they say, well, you could do this stuff over summer vacation when everybody's gone and it's just you. Well, that couple months goes flying by quicker than you think. And there's still people bugging the crap out of you. So you still don't get the time that you need or deserve to actually work on those side projects. But when these people start telling you specifically that you need to use the help desk ticket system or, certain email or things like that, you need to start following their directions or you're just going to start getting promptly ignored. And then nobody gets anything done. Are you coming back? Around 2004, I worked for a printer company. This company was, besides delivering hardware for copiers and printers, also selling print website software. And I, as sales support, was installing and giving courses on that. This software was protected by a dongle in combination with a license key. So one day I was requested to install this on a site in, somewhere in Sweden. Anyway, as this was to be a VMware, I proposed to do this remotely as I worked in Amsterdam, sending the dongle by snail mail. But no, my presence was necessary according to the customer. My manager, who typically bent over for any sales, agreed. As preparation, I mentioned that the dongle needs to be installed and get it confirmed that it's okay. I booked a flight later on Sunday as these trips were in my own time and wanting to spend as much with my newborn and 4-year-old. I could then catch the train and get a hotel in that place and go to the customer early on Monday. Rental cars weren't really something the company was happy about. So arriving at the airport, things started to go wrong. Flight was already 2 hours late. After finally boarding, the plane lifted again 2 hours later off. So I missed the last train. Alright, no problem. A hotel room near the train station and then the first train. So, cheap room, 5 hours of sleep, then the train. Weather was rainy and Sweden being Sweden, trees, and more trees. After something like 2 hours the destination and no taxis, so asked the bus driver and he was so kind to drop me off. Okay, get a spot to install, asked to insert the dongle and the admin doesn't want to. I pointed out that I got the confirmation from the project manager, but yeah, the admin reconsidered. After some heavy discussions, they would need to do some reshuffling of VMs first, but that would take a few days. If I would like to come back. No, I would not like. In the end, I installed it remotely. Trying to figure out why the customer or the end user was thinking that they had a choice. Why give them a choice? If the dongle and the product key are both required, then it's required. You either use the dongle or you get nothing. That should be the end of that. I mean, there should be no more bickering back and forth and this kind of stuff, but yeah. And I'm thinking more about that word, that place in Sweden. And it didn't dawn on me while I was reading it, but we have a saying here in the States, so-and-so lives out in bumfuck Egypt. Well, I wonder if that's like the Swedish equivalent, because it looked like that's what the word said, bumfuck Sweden. Let me know down in the comments below if you're Swedish or know Swedish people, and am I close? Am I on the mark? Or is that an actual name of a place, and how the hell do I pronounce it? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the stories today, and until the next time, see ya.